Welcome to Words of Wokism number 17. Today's word is safe. You hear that word a lot lately in connection with your child's school. We want to create an environment that is safe for our students. We want them to feel safe. We want them to understand that it is a safe space, or we want them to have safe spaces, or this isn't a safe space, or whatever. The word safe itself for all of us has morphed into some kind of bizarre, twisted version of its former self over the last 4 years or so. Not because it means something different in the literal sense, but because people in positions of power over us, and in the case of children, that would be their teachers and their school administrators and social workers and counselors, are starting to use the word as a way of, I'm just going to say it, threatening. So where a person may not have felt unsafe before, the person trying to manipulate them or twist their thinking or confuse them brings up the concept of safety in a context where it previously wasn't in question, or it was only in question at a different level of intensity. So let me give you an example. In a classroom, prior to the use of safe in this new sort of threatening way, a child might have thought, the only ways I can be unsafe in this classroom would be if somebody wanted to hit me or bully me in some really overt way, like physically bully me. Before they started telling children about school shootings and doing school shooting drills that, by the way, won't help anybody in the event of a school shooting, whereas, really good security would do a much better job. But telling young children as young as 6 how to behave if somebody with a gun comes in and wants to kill them, having lessons around Sandy Hook and what happened to those kids with small children, that adds a whole new dimension of safety. But even so, you parents might be able to overcome that and let them know that the odds are really, really, really low that they will face something like that. If you're a responsible parent, if you're, a creepy enabler of toxic, narcissistic levels of empathy and control, maybe you'll scare the living daylights out of your kids about school shooters. But for those children who are fortunate enough not to have been terrified by school shooters, they would have just walked into a school classroom, probably up until middle school, and the only idea of safety would be like, somebody didn't hit me, I'm pretty safe here. So when you start talking about feeling safe and are you safe, and let's talk about your safety, and you feel safe, and are you safe at home, and are you safe here, and are you safe there, as if they're all in constant danger. And when you bring in concepts they can't really understand, like climate change, and is the world going to end, and if we don't do something we're all unsafe, you create a low level of fear in the child. Their definition of safe now is everything is risk-free. Things that I can't see, can't touch, can't even really understand or wrap my mind around are dangerous to me. Whether it's strangers outside my home or my school building, or the temperature, the weather, somebody driving a car, it's all very, very unsafe. And then when you get them in that heightened state of fear, that sense of aversion to these ideas, and you introduce solutions, things that should help them feel safe, or the things that will make them safe if you lie to them. So you tell children who have no knowledge of most of these things, like what makes them actually tick, why and to what extent are they actually dangerous, what are the odds, what is the likelihood, even that climate change is going to directly negatively impact this child's life, when you deprive them of all that information and you just approach them as this is a fact. These things are dangerous and you are unsafe. Somebody not using the right pronoun is an attack on you. Somebody who, all people who look like this are racist. All people who look like this probably hate you because they think you're a racist. So to be safe, to create a safer world, to create a safer school, we need to, you need to, et cetera, et cetera. Your parents need to, other adults need to, and unless and until those things happen, you're not safe. Because the new definition of safety is all the things we want and the little rainbow wheel of SDG achieved, and we'll be safe. Which of course is a lie, because command and control has never produced more peace, more safety, or longer lives. Never mind less death. Never in the history of mankind. So they're lying to your children about the danger they're in on a daily basis, especially from you. If they imply, they generally imply, but sometimes they straight up say it, that you raising your voice to them is abuse, and they connect the dots of abuse is unsafe. If they tell you that people who don't affirm are transphobic or want to genocide trans people, and then they have a trans-identified kid in their class, it's not that far a stretch from I feel unsafe with you, mom and dad. When they refer to a total stranger in the school as a trusted adult without your knowledge, consent, or even agreement on the part of the child, and then they tell them that this person is safe, now the child has a really twisted idea of what is safe, because that person is decidedly not safe. Anybody who would hide their relationship with your child, even if it's just a clinical one, nothing super untoward going on, is not a safe person. Your child is not emotionally safe at school. Your child is not physically safe at school either, because without discipline in the school, with all this restorative justice, they make a mockery of the word safety. They tell the child that restorative justice will make us all safer because we'll all understand each other better. Is that working? So we gin up fear by talking about all the things we need to do in the world to make us safer, to make it safe to be here at school, to make it safe to go outside, to make it safe to breathe the air, to make it safe to drink the water, to make life on earth safer for fill in the blank. So we have also the concept of safer for something, safer for trans people, safer for gay people, safer for black people, black bodies. Oh, I'm going to talk about bodies in another show. Safer for. And then we have the concept of safe from. And we teach the kids about all these new dangers that they would never have perceived as dangerous because they're not. And in so doing, because these are the people teaching them what is safe, what is not, what you need to have to be safe, from things, what needs to happen for the safety of X that you care about, little child. They do a fantastic smokescreen job of things that are actually dangerous, namely manipulative adults, many of them with cluster B personality disorders, who are exploiting and using your children for personal validation and self-gratification, all the way to cannon fodder for the Marxist revolution. But all under the safety umbrella. So that is what the woke definition of safe is, and why when you hear safe used by teachers, principals, school board members, etc., especially when it's really sprinkled all over the place. And especially when you don't see anything operational, like we're hiring new security guards, armed security guards to stand at the door to keep the school safe. Okay, I can go with that. That's the old-fashioned definition of safe. That's probably going to work. We have a new alarm system on the doors so that they can't be propped open. That sounds like a safety measure to me. We are making sure that boys have to go in boys' bathrooms and girls go in girls' bathrooms, and that is a step towards physical safety for our middle and high school kids, and ideally all the kids, but then maybe we're on the same wavelength. But when you see safe and safety referred to just interpersonal interaction, soft, fuzzy, fluffy stuff, or we want our students to feel safe in the classroom. So that's why we're doing a climate survey. We're going to talk about climate in another show. So that's why we want to ask them all these surveillance questions about how they feel. They're trying to take your child's temperature. That's why they do it so often too, to see if their concept of safety is changing on schedule. And there's sort of like A/B testing different vocabulary with your kids to see what do we need to tweak to make sure we can gin up certain fears or certain levels of discomfort more, depending on how we twist the words around. Yes, that's exactly what they're doing. And how much more discomfort do we need to create for them to feel the level of fear, the perception that they're not safe, so that we can sell them on our solutions to achieve safety? Catching on? So, next time you see sprinkles of safe all over, you'll know what it means. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.